All right, we're going to move on to our next subject because we have a lot to talk about tonight. And this was something that is, again, in the world of, is it true? Is it not true? It could be true. Brandan Fraser coming back to the Mummy franchise. Now, Brandan Fraser has been in the news a lot because of course, The Whale, which we've talked about in the program. The Whale came out. Everyone's giving him his props for his acting. He had that almost 10-minute standing ovation. And people are saying now, and he says he's heard this for a long time, it's like, would you do another Mummy movie? Well, now that this has been kind of in the news more, Brendan addressed this in a recent interview. And here's what he had to say.
When asked if he'd return, Fraser said, "I'm not opposed to do it. I don't know what an actor who doesn't want a job. I don't think I've been this famous and unsalaried at the same time in my professional life, so sign me up."
which I thought was pretty freaking good. He's like, hey, I've been on the limelight for a long time. He's been a dad at home and he's been raising his kids, living on a ranch, shooting bow and arrows at targets. That's the thing he's been doing. He learned to shoot a bow and arrow apparently. So he's been away from it because of the Me Too shit that went down with him. He had a producer come after him and physically touch him, a male producer, and it freaked him out. He said, fuck this town. He got out and he raised his kids. He went away for a long time. Doom Patrol brought him back. He's done some voiceover stuff. But now, he's been gone for so long. He's like, I need money. I'm an actor. I'm ready to work. The climate's changed. People are actually being respectful in a way they weren't before. Even Hugh Jackman was on an interview recently saying, that the film sets have changed a lot for the good. He was talking about working on X-Men, the original X-Men with Bryan Singer. And Bryan Singer has been known in this town to be someone been a little touchy, just saying. And he's apparently done some things, hasn't been proven, but we've been hearing it over and over again through the years, what it's like for Bryan Singer. Now, I've heard also that he's a great guy, that he's awesome. I have friends that know him that say they love him. They've gone to his parties and he's amazing. But Hugh Jackman was saying that there was some stuff going on that set, and it was his first job from Australia here. And he said it wasn't what he was expecting, and it's changed and it's better. And Brendan Fraser said the same thing. A lot of actors have come out and said the same thing. But Sabrina, you hear about this, okay? Brendan Fraser, a person dealt Me Too, and now he's coming back. He's having an opportunity to work again. The Mummy was a huge hit for him. Huge franchise.
He didn't deal with the Me Too. He was Me Too.
He left.
He didn't touch anyone. He was touched.
Yeah, he was touched.
So, it was his choice. Involved. It's not like someone, it's not like someone who was, like Harvey Weinstein. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you're making it sound like he did something wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. He was touched. He had enough, and then he walked away. So
but
it's not. It's.
But you hear this, and do you think that he wasn't touched. He wasn't touched, but he was also involved.
He was touched. He didn't touch anyone.
Well, okay, yeah, he wasn't the person that was doing the touching. How about that? but he wasn't the person doing the touching. He was touched when he was working in Hollywood, and it freaked him out, and he left. He said, "Fuck this town." But he was, he was involved.
I'm just clarifying because you're making it sound like he was Me Too'd, like all the touchy people. Like he was a victim, not an assaulter or assaulter.
He wasn't an assaulter, but
assaulter's not a word.
With this whole world though, and he had to walk away. He's coming back, right? He's coming back, and the Mummy movies he's been asked about these for years, right? And so the Mummy movies might come back because, of course,
I don't think he could do a Mummy movie now.
You think he'd do it again?
I don't think he could physically. I'm sure he would. I don't think he could physically do it. He's old, a lot older than he was. I'm sorry, he's not old. And he's a little bit heavier than he was when he was I just don't think he's physically in the position to do a Mummy movie. You know what I mean? And even Doom Patrol, which is a superhero movie, his stand-in does all of the physicality. He just voiceovers.
He does.
That the person in that mask is his stand-in who does everything on set. All he does is voiceover. If they do flashbacks to before he was, the metalhead, then he acts. You know what I mean? But other than that, which has been very few episodes in the series. So, I just don't. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think he's physically in a position. I mean, that doesn't mean he can't go to the gym every day and get ripped or whatever. I'm sure he could, but I don't know. He doesn't, it doesn't seem like he's prepared or, I don't know. I feel like no.
I also think though, but then again, they could do the whole route. Look at Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? Where you have, you bring in the father figure, Junior, you bring in Sean Connery, and you have him play the older character. He's a little bit bumbling. Maybe his son's his age from the original movies. Maybe his son's in his 30s or his 40s. They tried the
I'm
son
so
factor.
over the kid thing. It's like, for
I know that,
fuck's sake.
but I could see them doing it. So I'm just throwing this out there. If they did that, right, and Brendan Fraser came back and they get somebody like, I don't know, I'm gonna throw out, I don't know, Tom Holland plays his kid. Something like that, Would you go see something like that? I think Tom Holland still be a little young because his kid was older before. So it would probably be someone like, I don't know, Clint Eastwood's kid or something. Would you go see something like that?
I don't know. It depends. It depends on who's directing it. It depends on, what it looks like. And I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of recycling shit over and 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 over again. It's like, just get a new fucking idea already. So I went to go see the Tom Cruise Mummy. It was terrible. So I'm a little sour.
I fell asleep during it, the first viewing, unfortunately. And I was very upset because I really wanted to see that movie because I love to see Tom Cruise run. I'm not going to lie. And so I really wanted to see that movie and I fell asleep. I don't know why. But I fell asleep.
Because it was crap. That's why.
I'm not blaming the movie, but
it was crap.
It could have been any factor. It wasn't the best. And they were supposed to reboot the whole monster franchise with that. And they even added a bunch of stuff for Tom Cruise to run. No joke. It was in his contract because he said it was missing him running. Real story. And it just it was in his contract. Yeah, that was the thing. That his one note for the movie was he needed to run more. And so they add this whole sequence where he's running this downtown. If you watch the movie, you'll see it. There's this whole sequence that they added where he's running and there's a car chase and he's just Tom Cruise running through the streets. Ridiculous. They added that because Tom Cruise said there was not enough running in the movie. And the movie didn't do well, unfortunately. And Tom's a great guy, I think. Working with him before, I think he did a great job. And he was in Top Gun Maverick, and he was very dedicated to his craft, and he was very serious about it. And I don't think it's his fault. I just think that it just wasn't right. The script wasn't right. The bad guy wasn't right. The Mummy didn't work that well for me. Oh, we're having some thunder and lightning here in the valley right now. I think the lights flickered a little bit. If we lose you guys, there's a flood watch right now in the valley, or actually in Los Angeles. I've never heard thunder out here like that right now. That was
long
cool.
crack of thunder.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But we're okay. We're still here for now. If we go out, that's why. But anyways, so Tom Cruise did a good job. I don't blame him. I think the Mummy movie, I don't know if it would work these days. I don't know if it would either. I think that Brendan Fraser would be great to come back if they could do it right. I love him. I think he's good. I really think he's really good. So I don't know. And I want to see The Whale still. We still haven't watched that. When we watch it, we'll do a review on that. We got to catch up this week on some movies. Unfortunately, I was working on some top secret thing this past few days, which I will tell you about once it comes out. But that's also, again, as we say on this show, actual people that work on set, that know the entertainment industry, that actually are insiders, that aren't just somebody that, reads an article online and says, well, I'm going to tell you about this and that. No, we've watched enough of that shit online. This show is about bringing people online that actually know and work in the industry. Hence, we'll have more of those as we develop the show and build. But I'm going to tell us one thing about this. This whole thing I was talking about was the Me Too thing. And with Brendan Fraser, I feel like, and the money thing. With him, since he's been gone from the industry for so long, he finally feels comfortable coming back. Of course, he would jump on this, And it sounds like he's positive about just working again, right? Sabrina, don't you think that he just seems like he wants to work? Like he's ready to work again. He's like, he can tell that the town's changed, it's getting better, and he wants to get back to work. And that makes sense, doesn't it? Don't you want to see him in more things now that he can have this opportunity, that he feels good about it? I think that's a great thing.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I was really never a Brendan Fraser fan ever. I do love him in Doom Patrol though.
Yeah.
He's great in Doom Patrol. So I'm finding him, I guess, now. But I was never really a tremendous Brendan Fraser fan. But yeah, I would love to see him in more stuff. He's good. Supposedly he's amazing in The Whale. And that's something that he's never done before, like super dramatic acting like that, so he's great at comedy. So if he's great at drama, I haven't seen The Whale, but critically acclaimed. So, obviously he's a spectacular actor in all aspects. So why the fuck not?
Yeah. And this is his opportunity for a comeback. Something like this always does it for people. Get that great role. And then people pay attention to you again. And then the doors open in Hollywood, say, welcome back. Let's get to work. All right, what do you think about this? Would you watch the Mummy movie? Leave us some comments, and we'll get back to you and talk about it because it'd be exciting to hear what you say.